Y así arrancamos escuchando FIRSUN. Qué buena banda de este día de la fecha que nos da el pie para arrancar con es esto, la fábrica del día de hoy. Esta parte del programa, esta sección en donde lo que hacemos es intentar repensar, reanalizar, redefinir todo lo que rodea a la industria de la música. Una industria, una actividad que realizan las personas hace un montón de años, pero que hace un puñadito nomás de 2 décadas, si querés, una cosita así, que ha cambiado un montón la cosa, porque antes precisabas de barcos, de aviones, de containers que distribuyan de un lado al otro del planeta Tierra todo lo referido a la música que a vos te gustaba, a los discos, los vinilos o las cosas para fabricar discos, para fabricar vinilos en tu país. Bueno, todo eso ha cambiado bruscamente a partir de la aparición de las tiendas digitales y todas esas cositas que tanto nos gusta y que nos traen acá para hablar de estas cosas. Y para hacerlo lo hemos hecho un montón de veces y siempre nos tratamos de nutrirnos de las mejores materias primas. Es por eso que hemos hablado con músicos, con artistas, con productores musicales, con gente que organiza festivales, con sellos discográficos y más. Y en el día de la fecha, si todo sale bien, vamos a estar hablando con los amigos de FIRSUN que los estamos esperando. Recién escuchábamos esta hermosa canción llamada Sweet Nicotine. Recomiendo también el video. Así que, si te parece bien, arrancamos. Hi, how are you? Hello.
Doing good, man. How are you doing?
Hi, excellent. We are live, man. We are live in this exact moment. Bueno, Raúl, arrancamos la entrevista y empezamos.
Sí, I'm really happy to meet you. It's incredible, the band. It's incredible. I'm a big fan. So you have some fans in Spain, in Argentina. So it's incredible to speak with you. We are going to start with the interview. So please tell us your full name, where are you from, and how old are you?
My name is Matthew Jackson. I am from Texas, but I reside in Palm Coast, Florida now, and I am 32 years old.
Okay, 32. I'm going to make a little translation for the Spanish listeners. Estamos hablando con Matthew, es originalmente de Texas, pero ahora está en California y tiene 32 años. Es increíble, I'm really happy to meet you.
Sí. Nice to meet you too, man.
Thanks for that.
Happy to be here.
Sí. Can you tell us which is your first memory of you listening to music?
First memory of me listening to music, it's probably since I was 2 years old. My dad got me really into 80s, 90s music, kind of all around the board. So from there on, I just kind of branched out and started listening to heavier music. And yeah, so it's pretty much from the get-go.
Okay. Sí. Bueno, nos estaba contando que a los 2 años él escuchaba mucha música por el padre, escuchaba mucha música de los 80, pero después, bueno, realmente entró en el heavy metal y así fue como empezó a funcionar todo. Can you tell us which was your first instrument and which was the first song that you learned?
First instrument, I would say drums. I'm primarily a drummer. Yeah. I love playing drums. So, and first song I remember playing, y'all are pulling out of the vault for this one. I would say first song I learned to play. God, yeah. I'm like, man, there's so many. I would probably say the first song I learned to play was there's a band called The Call from the 80s. They put out a song called I Still Believe. And it was their version because obviously it was on Lost Boys and everything. But yeah, that'd probably be the first one. I really was a fan of the drummer of that band. So.
And you play like really heavy or more or less when you were young?
Very, very heavy.
Bueno, primera sorpresa, el cantante de FIRSUN, Matthew, era baterista. Bueno, y había la primera canción que aprendió fue de una banda que se llama The Call. Así que impresionante primera sorpresa. Ahí está. Perdón. Sí. Y tocaba la batería. Me sorprendió que toque la batería, un cantante que haya tocado la batería muy bueno. Sí. And can you tell us, are there any places to study music for free, or you always have to pay when you want to study music in your region?
I think it's kind of both. You know, it just kind of, I guess it kind of varies.
For example, you can begin playing in your school and then you take some lessons, something like that?
Yeah, actually, a lot of it was just me playing. I didn't really take lessons. The only thing I really took lessons on was piano, and I still play here and there, but not as often as I do like drums and guitar.
Beautiful, some piano también, another surprise. O sea, sí, toca la batería, toca un poquito el piano también y canta como una bestia, así que espectacular. And can you tell us which was the first concert that you went?
The first what?
Concert, the first show that you went to watch.
First show I went to? So the first show that I went to that I remember that was like the show that I knew that I wanted to do this was, there was a band in my hometown of Longview, Texas called A Bullet for Pretty Boy. And they were some buddies of mine that I actually went to school with and played with it for a short amount of time. But after seeing that show, I was immediately like, okay, this is what I want to do.
Perfect. So. And the name was A Bullet for a Pretty Boy?
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Yeah. They had that. They had like their own sound. It was like very ambient, but it had like, you know, the styles of like Under Oath.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
Raúl, preguntale cuándo fue que pasó del piano y la batería a la voz.
Ahí venía, perfecto, sí. We want to know because you were playing the drums and then some piano, and when you start to sing?
I started singing probably in the middle of that. Like in the order of where I learned, I did drums first, and then I did guitar, and my dad, I asked my dad to teach me like 3 chords, and then I ran off and learned the rest on my own. I pretty much locked myself in my room and just listened to music and learned how to play everything, and then singing just kind of happened. I just started singing in it and never stopped. So.
But you study how to sing, or not? You study
to sing,
how to put them to sing, to shout and that kind of stuff. Or not?
YouTube.
Okay.
I mean, I pretty much learned stuff on my own. Like, obviously, like I do want to get a vocal coach. You know, I think that would be good to make sure I'm doing it the right way, so I don't tear myself up night after night on tour, and because I've done that before, and so just want to eliminate that and knowing like the fully proper way of doing it, and just also kind of expanding my boundaries on my voice.
Beautiful. And sorry, this is a personal question. When you were a kid, we make this question to everybody. Which kind of people do you play? Because you know, I have a black T-shirt. You have a black T-shirt. We are metal. We can speak. You know, that kind of things. When you were a kid, was something like that or not?
I mean, I don't know. Honestly, like it was. This is a good question. One more time for me real quick.
It's okay because, well, you know, when I was a kid, I only play with people with metal heads, you know, and I say, the other people, what the fuck they do? You know, it's something that I don't know, so that's why I make that kind of questions.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of, for me, it started off with like, because I was listening to a lot of like contemporary Christian music, like the early 2000s, and then like meeting my friends on the block, and they were listening to like Linkin Park and POD and those new metal, as they call it now, like
Seven
that.
Seven Dust.
That kind of,
You like
Seven? Yeah, Seven Dust as well.
Wow.
There was another band that I really did jam a lot. POD was like the #1 band I was jamming at that time.
The audio of POD is incredible. It's incredible.
Honestly, like I at one point I had everything up from Snuff the Punk all the way up to Testify, like all the records. So I was a big POD fanatic. I've seen them like 3 times.
Wow.
Got to meet all of them after a show that they played in Tyler, like back in 2015 or 2016.
Beautiful.
And it was awesome. Like that band, it definitely has been like a big inspiration to the sound of FIRSUN.
Muy bueno. In Argentina, it's Papa Roach is bigger than all that band. Pero nunca la nombra. We never talk about Papa Roach. Every band talk about POD, ¿no? Here in Argentina, Papa Roach was big.
Sí.
So,
yeah. Loved me some Papa Roach, man, honestly.
Then we are going to send you a band that is a Christian metal band that maybe you like. It's called Arde la Sangre. Then you can check them. They are really, really good, and they are similar to Papa Roach and that kind of thing. So we are...
Okay, sweet, yeah.
It's incredible too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Perfect. And can you tell us how did FIRSUN begin and why you put that name?
It pretty much began after my departure with my former band Post Profit. I was already kind of working on an album, and I really just wanted to get it out. And you know, as far as like writing for myself now, there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Limitations that I could finally shake off to where I could feel 100% comfortable with what I'm doing and 100% proud of what I'm doing. And the name actually comes from me and my wife's dog. His name is Fang. He's a black lab. And one day we were outside and I said, FIRSUN, like, it's like, you know, my little fur son. And it just stuck. It just pretty much stuck. So I was like, all right, yeah, that's it. That's it. Change the spelling a little bit, you know, make it a little unique, stuff like that. But yeah.
Beautiful story. I like that. ¿Sí? Bueno, nos estaba contando todos los comienzos de la banda. And in what year FIRSUN begin? More or less?
It's begin this year.
This year. Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very, very brand new. Like
sí.
right out the gate.
No, you have a lot of future. Please keep on making music. They are
Absolutely.
incredible.
Thank you so much.
Muy bueno. Bueno, nos estaba contando que él ya tenía unas ideas, estaba tocando con otras bandas, tenía unas ideas para hacer un álbum y estaba medio como que era difícil expresarse de la manera que él quería y tenía un par de cosas que lo trababan, así que empezó con un proyecto nuevo. Y bueno, y ahí está FIRSUN, que empezó este año, así que realmente es una banda nueva con todas las letras. In April of this year you released your first single, If We Wasn't It, the name of
If We Wasn't, yes.
Can you explain the recording process?
Yeah, actually, it was once I moved down here to Florida, I kind of got my own little setup as like my studio, and I ended up just having the idea for the song, and I made it evident for like any future thing that I was gonna write, like instead of like sitting on it for a while, to actually record it and actually get it done. And once I did that, the song pretty much kind of came together. And then lyrically, it was just kind of like a open letter to myself, as far as like, you know, to keep going and you know, just to persevere through all the bullshit that goes around. So.
Perfecto, sí, muy bueno. Bueno, nos está contando el proceso de grabación del primer single que salió en abril de este año, If We Wasn't It. Lo hizo prácticamente solo en el momento que se estaba buscando las condiciones para crear su estudio propio bien, y que la letra habla de cómo seguir, pese a toda la mierda que hay por ahí dando vueltas, cómo continuar con la vida. Some days ago, just a few days ago, you released your last EP, Sweet Nicotine. You changed many things in the recording process?
Not very much. I mean, there's new things I like to try, but a lot of it is very pretty much kind of like my way of doing stuff, to where it's pretty much automatic. Because once I'm like in the zone, I'll end up just keep going, and the rest of the song will pretty much write itself in a sense. So. Wow. Yeah, a lot of the recording process is the same. So, and especially for these songs, because it's going to be out on a full-length record. So.
Perfecto. Se viene el álbum completo. Bueno, sacaron un simple, sacaron un EP que se llama Sweet Nicotine, que acabamos de escuchar una de las canciones. Y lo que dice que más o menos el proceso de grabación es el mismo, que es muy importante. Él viene con una búsqueda, parece, de querer hacer las cosas de una determinada manera. Cuando encuentra esa determinada manera, ya sigue adelante y el proceso es muy súper fluido. You search for a sound, or you just play and this is my sound?
Yeah, I think it's more of just me playing and my sound. I think that it has a lot of elements that play from pretty much my whole life of listening to music and finding and like listening to things that I really enjoyed and just kind of making that style up for myself and not really putting limitations on it. You know, there's things that I know that I want and there's things that I know that I can branch out and do that I enjoy that I haven't really tapped into yet. So you'll definitely hear more of that on the record, but even then past that, just wanting to, you know, push boundaries and have that style just pretty much locked in.
Perfecto, sí, lo que nos estaba diciendo que está en la búsqueda de la identidad directamente, dice the identity, no, of the sound, of the audio, you are looking for that, and when you have that, you keep on making things perfect. Lo que nos estaba diciendo sí que es la búsqueda de la identidad, de no tener aparte ningún límite, que de poder experimentar con cualquier cosa, y él es él tocando y buscando ese tipo de cosas hasta que se siente realmente confortable con algo y le da para adelante con todo. Así que parece que no se esfuerzan a hacer lo que hace, es increíble. Manu.
Se nota todo como una capa de producción en sonidos nuevos. Sí. ¿Eso cómo lo trabaja él o lo trabaja algún productor?
Ahí va, sí.
¿Puede preguntar eso?
Sí. We want to know because there are some layers like in really good high quality audio. You work that with a production, with a productor, with someone else, or you try to make it by your own?
Yeah, so this record that I've been working on, I'm actually working with a guy named Charlie Brzezinski. He plays in a band called Vexes, and he also records and masters bands. And he was a really big fan of the sound. He really wanted to do it, and I was stoked because he's such an awesome dude, and he pretty much nailed the sound from the get-go. So it's been great working with him.
Perfect. How did you meet him?
He heard of us from my former band, and I actually heard from them on the way to a show that I was driving overnight for, and they just randomly popped up on my Spotify, and I was like, this is sick. So pretty much from there on, like, I told him I was a big fan, and he was a big fan of the music I was working on at the time, and you know, things just kind of went on from there. We were able to work together and come up with some really good product.
See, I think that message is important. When you have something in your head and a producer appears, it's important to work, no? Have a really working flow. Perfect. That is important because sometimes, you know, in Latin America, most of all, we say like, we're never going to have that sound or that kind of things. It's not impossible to make that.
No, it's definitely not. Honestly, and like the cool thing about it is that, especially with me, like with writing, I get so married to the project that and I also do mix bands as well. So, and it's something I enjoy to do, but there's just something about like when you're mixing your own stuff and you have a way you want it to sound, but then you get too invested into it to where in some ways it can kind of cloud your judgment. And in some ways we call it demoitis. But it's like, yeah, you get so attached to the demo that you listen to the first mix or the final mix that you get, and it'll kind of throw you off a little bit. But I think honestly, and even working with Charlie, I think he captured the sound that I was looking for. So
perfecto, sí. Demolitis acaba de decir, Manu, es tremendo, para que no va muy para adelante, que eso, por eso estoy tan contento también, y aparte nos está contando todo lo que le decía, el mensaje que manda, que no es imposible, viste, llegar a ese nivel de calidad de audio, que es esforzarse, grabar, tener una idea muy clara en la cabeza, y él también hace mezclas para bandas, es ingeniero de audio, y bueno, se juntó con esta persona que se llama, sorry, the name was Charlie Brzezinski. Perfecto. Se juntó con Charlie Brasinski, que lo encontró de casualidad, escuchando música random en Spotify, le gustó lo que él estaba haciendo, se contactó y bueno, y empezaron a trabajar juntos, y este es el tipo de mensaje que me parece para la banda latina, para mismo los europeos que dicen, ay, no puedo, ay, me va a costar, háganlo. Si tienen algo en la cabeza, vayan para adelante, que es justamente algo que siento en carne viva, que vayan para adelante porque se pueden sacar proyectos adelante de muy buena calidad siendo músico. Manu, si tenés alguna otra pregunta.
¿Llegaron a tocar en vivo? Porque dijo que arrancaron este año.
Sí, we want to know, have you ever played live?
I have, and I have for a long time. As far as FIRSUN though, we have not played our first live show yet.
Perfect.
We plan on doing that. We start doing that in beginning of next year, 2026.
Perfect, sí. And Manu, le pregunto por el audio en vivo, ¿cómo lo piensas?
Claro, como sí,
me imaginé. Manu and me wants to know, because how are your... ¿Cómo te estás imaginando? Which is the way that you think that the live audio is going to sound? You know, you're going to use tracks, or it's going to be everything live. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, it'll be a full band for sure. Obviously, like it's gonna be the full shebang, and you'll pretty much see when like the record comes out what the lineup is. Okay. So like you'll get an idea. Whenever we first started, you know, it was a kind of a different start because I was starting on my own, and then kind of finding musicians and really got a solid group of people that are in it and people that have been in it, so it's whenever that time comes and once it's out there for the world to see for live, then you'll see it's a full band.
Perfect. We are going to check that. Manu, si te parece, 3 preguntas más y cerramos. ¿Vamos bien o tenés alguna?
No, cerremos. ¿Sí? Yo quería hablar por si sabe si afinan de alguna manera rara, sobre todo en la canción Sweet Nicotine que escuchábamos.
Sí. Manu is a guitar player and he wants to know about the how do you tune the guitar, for example in Sweet Nicotine, drop D, that kind of things.
Yeah, so that song is actually in B standard. Ooh. It's it's very low. There's about 2 or 3 songs on the record that are that low, and obviously like baritone guitar, like standard baritone guitar tuning. Don't have a baritone yet, but definitely will, especially for that song. Just I don't know, kind of experimenting with just lower tunings and doing standard tuning and lower tunings, and kind of even expanding on like different weirder tunings too. So
perfecto. Sí, mano. Tiene esas afinaciones.
I love that. Sí.
Excelente.
Yeah.
Muy bueno.
Get that good old raunch bottom to it, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Sí, muy bueno. Heavy metal a full. Can you tell us something about the actual music scene in your region? How do you feel about?
I'm honestly like still getting into the scene, but I've been hearing a lot of things and starting to go to more shows, and it obviously from when I've played in Florida before, the scene has been amazing. The crowds have been amazing, and just really starting to dive more into that and getting involved, and because I love going to shows, so I'm very into doing that, and haven't went to one in a while, things coming up, life and stuff like that, but definitely making a point to go to a lot of shows here soon, on to the next year and years after. So
Manu and me, we are really fan of going to shows and that kind of thing, so we completely agree with you. Hay un montón de movida en Florida, Manu, de haber bandas por todos lados, es impresionante.
Sorry for the question, my friend, but if I tell you about Lionel Messi, do you know who he is?
Who's it? What?
Lionel Messi.
Perfect. Perfect.
I don't think so.
Perfect. Es el mejor, Manu. You're the best. Because no, Manu is a football fan player, you know. And Messi is the number one. It's like Diego Maradona and Messi. They are really big, important people.
He play in Miami.
Miami in another part.
Okay, yeah.
Perfect. Sí, perfecto. Sí.
Mejor que la explicación, Raúl.
Sí, perdón. Muy bueno. Sí. I'm not a big fan of football, so it's okay. No problem with that, and we love what you say. Can you tell us something about FIRSUN? You're going to play next year, you're going to drop an album and that kind of things?
Yeah. Already pretty much getting up, planning a release for the album to come out, and honestly probably come out this year. Perfect. So these songs have been pretty much like cooking for a while now, and I think it's time for them to be released into the world. I think there's a lot of messages in there for people. I think as far as like the content of it, the whole concept of this record is pretty much about pretty much persevering through hardship and keeping a calm head, and bringing issues that are now coming to light and kind of dealing with it so you can move on with your life. The record's called Fortitude, so it's pretty much about that. There's a little bit of every emotion on it, so it's not just a pissed off record or a sad record. There's a little bit of everything for this record. So
amigo, bueno, let's close the interview by listening the song Speak. We love that song. What does the blindfold represent in the video?
Oof.
Yeah, it was kind of a thing that, one, we kind of threw it together because we did it at our bass player's, Seth Peters. We did it at his house, and we were shooting 2 videos on one day. So it just kind of like symbolizing like, see no evil, speak no evil, you know what I mean? And it's just kind of more of a thing of like taking the blinders off, seeing things for what it really is, and actually speaking up about it. Especially if you don't agree with it, you got to be able to stick up for yourself.
Sí.
You have the sound, you have spirit, you have message, you have all, my friends.
Keep going. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's really happy to meet you. Bye. Thank you very much.
Have a good one. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.
Raúl, nosotros ya